exporting creative content may seem foreign to a lot of BIPOC creatives. Like we've discussed, that a lot of us get caught up in government funding and those opportunities, and we may not think broad enough. So who we have here today with us is Joyce Tang. Joyce is the director of World Trade Center Vancouver and is going to give a brief overview of the export process and introduces the export program that the Greater Vancouver Board of Traders offers. Greater Vancouver Board of Trade offers this program to production companies that are looking to export their content to different markets. So, and Joyce does have some brochures that I think some of you do have. Joyce will be available after this presentation for conversations if you're curious and interested and have more questions. So without further ado, I'll welcome Joyce on stage.
Thank you, Rajesh, for the warm introduction. And I'm here to talk about trade, international trade, exporting. And we've been working with, we call them creative industry that's the third year now. And a lot of times when the creators come to us, they'll say, oh, Joyce, I want to export to Asia. I said, that's great. However, we have more than 40 countries there. And which country you're targeting, right? And so I got a quick 50 minutes here. Thank you for the timer. I also have timer here as well. And to talk about how we can help the content creators, the creative industry to do export. And we have a 4-day program to teach people how to do export. So this presentation will be very, very high level for your information. I also want to save some time to talk about the Trade Accelerator program, which we have been running for more than 5 years. Since 2017, we assisted over 400 BC businesses for their exporting journey for more than 44 countries. I was leading this project since 2018 January, so quite a history. And so people ask me, so how to export the creative content? I actually have only one tip for you, is to put an international expansion plan. And a lot of times, I've been doing exporting since 2002. It's quite a little bit history, and assisted many, many company business owners expand internationally. When they came to us, they would say, oh, I'm actually in 25 markets already. However, there's few markets we're not making money. Then I asked them, I said, do you have an export plan? I can take a look for that market. He said, I don't. I rely on my emails, my accounting firm, my lawyer, and my business development person, and the local distributor to do this expansion for me. And what I want to mention this to you is, as a business owner here, as a creative industry business owner, I would suggest you to put an international expansion plan as a one document. And in the program we're doing, we also can give you a template. Then you can utilize the template to work on your plan tailored to your business. And the program is fully funded by the Canadian federal government and the provincial government. So I'm not looking for selling anything here. So the program is fully covered by the government funding. What I need is a commitment, is you to work together with all the experts, with my team, to put this export plan together. Then you are taking action to implement this export plan. So that's a commitment we need. And go back to talk about this international expansion plan. We also call it export plan. For the creative content exporters, we usually suggest you guys to do a lot of market research to understand the target market, to understand the audience. Just like the beginning story, so you cannot tell me you're exporting to Asia or Europe. You need to give me a very specific country. And sometimes if it's a large country, I might ask you which region. Let's see, most of my clients, they're exporting to the United States. I need them to come up with a market research to highlight which state they're going. And in this way, your plan will be most effective. And then we also talk about the legal and the regulatory considerations. A lot of times we have a Canadian lawyer we work with. We always suggest you to hire another lawyer in the destination jurisdiction to help you, because different legal system, and every time when you sign a contract with any type of international vendors, you need to have a clause is this contract is governed or binding by which country's law? Is that Canadian law or a different law? And we also want to talk about localization and culture adaptation. This is very important for the creative exporters. I learned English here in 2014 when I moved here. Right now, when people speak about jokes, I understand what they're saying, but I don't feel it's funny, right? And that's why when you create any content, you need to be able to not translate, you need to be able to transcreation, right? And for people to understand, to resonate with the content, you try to tell them. That's, I think it's pretty important for the creative content providers. And another thing is called distribution and logistics. When I asked a filmmaking company, I said, do you have a distribution logistics session? They said, no, Joyce, I don't ship products. I have a distributor, they're doing the distribution for me. I said, actually, you need to have a sentence or you need to have a paragraph to cover this distribution and logistics piece, even though you're not shipping tangible goods from point A to point B. And the other parts I want to chat about how you're going to protect your IP. Same as before, I mentioned, when you get a lawyer, you work with your Canadian IP lawyer. At the same time, you also need another lawyer in the market, in other markets you're trying to sell to. And you also can get lots of resources called Canadian Intellectual Property Officer. We also call them CIPO. You can Google CIPO. There's so much resources you can utilize to learn a little bit of information regarding how you're going to protect your IP. And during your market research portion, we also suggest all the business owners to identify possible partnerships. The majority of my clients, they're small, medium-sized business owners. Over 98% businesses, they're small, medium-sized in BC. And every time I ask them, I said, hey, if you want to do indirect exporting, that's actually a lot easier. So you need to be able to identify if there is any partnership or if there is any possibility you can collaborate with the other distributor there in the location for you, because they have an existing network. You don't have to navigate this again. I get that. Sometimes there is a little bit profit sharing. You need to figure out that based on your financial projections. That's what I highly recommend, especially for small, medium-sized business owners. If you're large enough, you have so much financial resources, go ahead. And to talk about the business portion of it, we're talking about financial planning. For financial planning, a lot of times I want to mention two things. One thing is, there's a different government funding program to support specifically for creative industries, such as the Can Export funding can support your travel, can support your trade mission, can support part of your hotel stays, part of your airline tickets to go to that jurisdiction. And they require you to put some financial projection in this project. And when you work on this export plan, you need to come up with a financial projection based on the project. Then in this way, you can just take it to apply the government funding. You do not need to redone any work. And there's also another funding stream. It's under the Heritage Canada. You have a new creative export strategy. You can also look at online. There's also information there. If you join the program later, in my program, so Heritage Canada, they're in my program, and the Can Export funding program, also their representative Trade Commission Service, also in the program there as well for you to utilize, for you to check, to be your mentors. And another thing we talk about the people, the human resources. When you do the expansion plan, I would suggest you tie to your HR, the human resources, with your action plan. In this way, you know this task, right? This action plan, when, who is going to do what by when. And then you can tailor back to make sure there's a different individual responsible for different tasks. Then they're going to finish in time. If there's any delay, you know who is responsible for what. And this international expansion plan can be the internal guidance. If anything goes wrong, you might need to go back to check the plan, and you might need to update the plan as well while you're working on this expansion, because things might be different once you finish the plan and you implement. There's a different time frame for that as well. And this is also very important nowadays. When I start to run the program in early 2018, people talk about sustainability. It was a talk. Right now, things are getting very serious. I would suggest you put a ESG guidance or put a paragraph to talk about the sustainability, the environmental considerations, how you're going to align your company's practice in that market. So that will help you cover this part, and especially if you're using this export plan to apply for government funding, for applying for the bank loan, or for getting some investors. And that's 8 different points. I think it's important for the creative content providers. And followed by this part, I want to show you a quick video regarding the program and how the other business owners are going to see about the program. I want to give you a quick overview regarding the progress to date to show you the program results. Then those data are all based on the 6 months of graduation after the program. So their average export growth is by 75%, and each of them increased their revenue by 1.9 million. This is a Canadian dollar per company after 6 months again. And they also hired, in average, 3 staff per company, so after 3 months of graduation, to focus on this expansion plan. And so the later on, this is also something to show you is we did this cohort for over 30 times, and we graduated over 40 companies, and we also helped them coordinate over 3,000 mentorship meetings and help them expand to more than 40 countries. And this is the important slide. I want to walk you through the model of the program. So in high level is we group all the international trade advisors under one roof for you. We provide you with an export plan template. Then we ask you to work with each other in the room, because there's also other business owners in the room, to work together as a team to solve some workshop questions, case studies. Then you go back, work with another business partner on your export plan. And we do have different partners. I'm going to show you in my next slides. You will know who are my program partners in my next slides. And after you submit the export plan, at the same time, you will let us know who you are going to select as your mentors. So you're going to tell us, oh, I want to meet with a lawyer, the accounting firm, Export Development Canada. We're going to do your schedule. We're going to help you follow up with the schedule, and you're going to do, I call it speed dating, 30 minutes per meeting, so maximum we can do 12 meetings. Prior to those meetings, all the selected mentors, they're required to review the export plan. So before they sit down with you, they know which company you're from, and they will tell you based on their subject of expertise, which part you need to work on your export plan. And so those are all the program partners. So the program is funded by the provincial government, the federal government, and also the Greater Vancouver Board of Trade. And we also have Royal Bank of Canada, Export Development Canada, BDC, Air Canada Pure Later, KPMG, and Miller Thomson is a law firm to help us as the experts in the program. For this cohort, we do work with Heritage Canada and also Creative BC. We work with DigiBC as well, specifically for the creative cohort in October. And this is the QR code you can scan here, or you can search in the brochure as well. So we have upcoming cohort for the Trade Accelerator program. And we're going to start this in October. We're recruiting companies right now. So as I mentioned, so it's free of access for all the today's attendees once you apply. We do have some small interview process to qualify you to join the program. And after you accept it, then there's no money exchange. You're just joining the program. We do need your commitment, your time. I call them non-renewable resources, right? So once you give me money, you can gain them back. For the time, it will be with the program forever. And so that's the only commitment we need. And I think I'm just right on the time.